Welcome to Module 4, Formatting and Presentation. In this module, we'll explore how the visual layout of your email plays a major role in how your message is understood. Even the best written content can lose impact if it's not well presented. We'll begin with the importance of formatting and presentation, why the look of your email matters just as much as the content. Then, we'll move into the key principles of email formatting, covering simple techniques that make your emails easier to read and more professional. We'll also discuss structuring information for readability, how to organize content so the recipient can grasp the key points quickly. Next, we'll highlight some common email formatting mistakes so you know what to avoid. We'll then look at a practical comparison of poor versus good formatting to show how small changes can make a big difference. And finally, we'll wrap up with additional tips for professional presentation to help you polish your emails and make a lasting impression. Let's get started. Importance of formatting and presentation. Let's take a moment to understand why formatting and presentation matter in email communication. Formatting isn't just about how an email looks, it's about how well it communicates. A clean, well-structured email not only looks professional, but also makes your message easier to understand and quicker to act on. First, clarity. When an email is properly formatted, the recipient can quickly understand what it's about without having to read it twice. Whether it's a request, update, or a response, good formatting highlights the purpose clearly. Second, professionalism. A well-organized email shows that you respect the reader's time and take your communication seriously. It reflects your attention to detail and your credibility as a professional. Third, efficiency. When information is laid out clearly, using bullet points, spacing, and short paragraphs, it becomes easier for the recipient to process it and respond quickly. And here's a quick pro tip. Use professional fonts, keep the tone formal when needed, avoid all caps or emojis in official emails, and always aim for messages that are concise but complete. These small things can make a big difference in how your email is received. In short, formatting isn't just decoration, it's a tool for effective, professional communication. Now, let's talk about the key principles of email formatting, the simple techniques that can dramatically improve how your emails are read and understood. First, keep it short and simple. Limit your email to a few short paragraphs. Avoid long, dense paragraphs and break your email into a few short sections. For example, instead of one long paragraph, break it into 3, an introduction, main points, and a conclusion. Second, use white space effectively. Leave spaces between paragraphs to make your email less cluttered. A cluttered email is hard to read. Leave space between paragraphs and sections. This helps the reader visually separate ideas and digest the message more easily. Third, highlight key information. Use bold text, bullet points, or simple headings to draw attention to the most important parts. For instance, instead of hiding details inside a paragraph, clearly write, "The meeting is scheduled for Monday, 20th November, at 10 a.m. in room 304. This helps your reader find what matters fast. And finally, choose an appropriate font and size. Stick to professional, easy-to-read fonts like Arial or Calibri in size 11 or 12. Avoid using decorative or overly stylized fonts. They may look fancy, but they can be hard to read and look unprofessional in business settings. Let's now explore how to structure information for readability, a key aspect of effective email communication. Well-structured emails help your reader process information effortlessly and ensure your message is clear and actionable. First, use bullet points and lists. When you're sharing multiple items or steps, listing them out is much more effective than writing them in a paragraph. For example, instead of saying, "We need to prepare the report, get feedback from the team, and then submit it by Friday," you could list it like this: prepare the report by Thursday. Share it with the team for feedback. Submit the final version by Friday. This makes the tasks easy to scan and understand. Next, add headings and subheadings, especially in longer emails. Breaking content into sections with clear titles helps guide the reader through the message. For instance, use headings like Agenda for the meeting or Next steps to separate key parts of your email. It creates a natural flow and makes your message more user-friendly. And finally, keep your sentences and paragraphs short. Stick to 1 to 3 sentences per paragraph and avoid lengthy explanations. This keeps the email clean, digestible, and respectful of the reader's time. By structuring your emails this way, you are not only making them easier to read, but also more likely to get a timely and thoughtful response. Now let's take a look at some common email formatting mistakes that can reduce the clarity and professionalism of your message. First, overuse of styling. It's tempting to use bold, italics, or underlining to emphasize points, but too much of it can actually distract your reader and make the email look unprofessional. Use styling sparingly and only where it adds value. Second, writing in all caps or all lowercase. Typing in all capital letters comes across as shouting. On the other hand, using only lowercase can seem casual or even careless. Proper capitalization shows attention to detail and professionalism. Third, excessive punctuation. Multiple exclamation marks or question marks, like, "Why didn't you reply?" can sound aggressive or overly emotional. Stick to 1 punctuation mark at a time. Fourth, skipping a proper layout. A long block of unbroken text is hard to read and easy to ignore. Always structure your email into clear sections or short paragraphs. Pro tip: leave a line space between each paragraph for better readability. And when writing formal emails, avoid using colorful text or emojis. They may be fine in a chat, but they don't belong in a professional setting. By avoiding these common mistakes, your emails will look cleaner, read better, and leave a stronger impression. Let's now look at a practical example to understand how formatting can completely change the effectiveness of an email. First, let's examine the poorly formatted example. The subject line says, "Important meeting." While it sounds urgent, it's very vague. It doesn't tell the reader what the meeting is about or when it's happening. In the body of the email, all the information is packed into 1 long paragraph. The meeting purpose, location, expectations, and urgency are all mixed together. Because there's no spacing or structure, the email feels overwhelming and hard to scan. Important details can easily be missed. Now, let's look at the improved version. The subject line is clear and specific. Project status meeting, 20th November at 3 p.m. The recipient immediately knows what the email is about and when the meeting is scheduled. In the body, the email starts with a polite greeting and a short introduction that clearly states the purpose of the meeting. The details are then neatly organized under clear sections, such as meeting details and what participants should bring. This makes the information easy to read and quick to understand. The email also ends on a positive and professional note, inviting questions and using a proper closing with the sender's name. This comparison clearly shows how good formatting improves clarity, professionalism, and readability. The message stays the same, but the way it's presented makes all the difference. Before we wrap up this module, here are a few additional tips that can help make your emails look more professional and visually appealing. First, always proofread your email before sending it. This helps you catch formatting issues like uneven spacing, missing line breaks, or misplaced bullet points, along with any spelling or grammar mistakes. Second, use proper alignment. Left-aligned text is a standard for professional emails. It's easier to read and looks clean and organized across all devices. Third, keep your email signature simple and professional. Include only what's necessary: your name, role, organization, and contact details. Avoid adding quotes, images, or decorative elements that can clutter the email. And finally, avoid unnecessary attachments. Large or irrelevant attachments can be inconvenient for the recipient. Whenever possible, embed a link instead. This keeps your email lighter and easier to manage. These small but thoughtful practices help ensure your emails are not just well-written, but also well-presented, leaving a strong and professional impression every time. That brings us to the end of Module 4, Formatting and Presentation. In this module, we learned how the visual structure of an email plays a key role in effective communication. We discussed why formatting matters, explored key principles of email formatting, and saw how structuring information improves readability and clarity. We also identified common formatting mistakes to avoid, compared examples of poor and well-formatted emails, and covered additional tips to ensure a clean, professional presentation. The key takeaway is simple. Well-formatted emails are easier to read, quicker to respond to, and leave a strong professional impression. In the next module, we'll move on to email do's and don'ts, where we'll look at best practices and common mistakes to watch out for. Let's continue.